Let's talk about Martin Scorsese. He's back in the headlines, wagging his finger at us, guys. What is it? What is it? Scorsese on blockbusters. The danger there is what it's doing to our culture. Huh. Martin Scorsese is continuing to push back against modern day blockbusters and the streaming era. So in an interview with GQ, he says this: the danger there is what it is doing to our culture, because there are going to be generations now that think movies are only those. That's what movies are. Talking about big blockbusters. Well, Scorsese, I counter with Mission Impossible. uh, that's uh, that's what that's a big blockbuster, and it didn't do all that well. So what are you talking about? Are you saying that people are being conditioned to think that, oh, I'm only going to go see the big blockbusters in the theater? There is something here that needs to be said too. Yes, going to the theater is expensive. Going to the theater to see a movie that's kind of like subpar, that you kind of like feel like, oh, I just wasted my money going to see this movie. There is an angle there that is said, that there is danger in that, right? You spend, let's just say it's two of you. You spend $40, $45, up to $50 with tickets, popcorn, and drinks to go see a movie like Expendables, and you're like, that's supposed to be like the big blockbuster, and you're like, guys, this doesn't look all that great. Rollerball Champion says you put a lot of effort into this. It's definitely an algorithm thing. Yeah, it's got to be, talking about the show and stuff. Scorsese, he goes on to say they already think that, which means that we have to then fight back stronger. And it's going to come from the grassroots level. It's got to come from the filmmakers themselves. And you'll know, the Safdie brothers, and you'll have Chris Nolan. And you know what I mean. And hit them from all sides. Hit them from all sides, and don't give up. Let's see what you got. Go out there and do it. Go reinvent. Don't complain about it, but it's true, because we've got to save cinema. Well, and it's something that I've been echoing here too, a lot on the channel. Show us something different. And I don't mean just in the formula of like a genre. Oh, it's Expendables, but it's horror. Show us something different with this action movie. Meg 2, Statham did marginally well this year because it was a mixture of, like, Statham's not the draw. We're here in the North American market. We're pretty much done with the movie star being the draw. That's not our bag anymore. We want good stories. We want stories that change us, or like make us go, oh wow, that's an interesting take. But on the flip side of that coin, Scorsese, there are movies out there right now that are different, that just people are not talking about. And a good example of that was No One Will Save You. Now, I was a little bit harsh on it when we watched it because I had some audio issues. And it was a little bit ambiguous. But I think I said it, that it was different. They were going for something different. It was very stylized because the main actor doesn't speak a word of dialogue pretty much throughout the entire film. So they were trying different angles with it. Was it all in her head or wasn't it? What's going on here? What's the big statement at the end, kind of thing? Interesting alien designs. What's going on? And it's like, but nobody's watching it, Scorsese. Nobody's talking about it. Very few people, like the hardcore, die-hard movie fans like us, see it. But even the casual pundits out there, like the Harloffs, the Campius, they're not talking about this movie. They're not talking about No One Will Save You. We are, because we're movie fans. This is the hardcore movie fan channel. Like, we cover it all here. We do. But what's the mass appeal of going that small, right? And you take something that's like It Lives Inside, which I was hard on, like in my criticism. it didn't really deliver anything new. Yeah, there's a monster, and it's in this jar. It gets out. My guess is by the end of the film, they defeat it. You can change up the formula a little bit, though, with Megan, um, killer robot doll. It's very creepy. So there's a way to do it. But I was sitting in the theater during It Lives Inside, and I was like, is this something that we really needed to come to the theater to see? And I said that in my straight out of the theater reaction. You just wait for streaming on that one. Um, it's a hard case to make, Scorsese. But I see what you're like. He's attacking the big blockbusters here. He's attacking things like Barbie. I think he's really trying to maybe get at things like Fast 10 and Marvel movies, um, like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania. I think that's what he's trying to dig at, and the box office numbers have been not working well for Marvel lately, and I think that's going to be proven when Marvels comes out. Um, Lifelong cinema per, per preservationist. Yeah, preservationist. Here's the thing. I have a high respect for art house cinema. I go to the art house cinema uh, to see the smaller films. I do. Um, but these movies that come here to these theaters, it's a smaller theater. It's not as big as the big like stadium theaters that can hold like up to 300 plus people, right? What do you got here? Has anybody heard of these? The 2 Tickets to Greece, Jules. Yeah, we've heard to Talk to Me. For some reason, Dial of Destiny's playing. Why is Mission Impossible playing in here? See, they're bringing in these bigger movies to try to keep the art house theaters afloat. So there's a dynamic here. There's something in the matrix that even the art house theaters had to acquiesce to bring in these blockbusters to keep them afloat because the movies are not drawing people into the theater. They're not. Jules. What is Jules about? Let's pull that up. Um, Ben Kingsley, Harriet Sansom Harris, Zoe Winters. Uh, Milton lives a quiet life of a routine in a small western Pennsylvania town, but he finds his day is upended when a UFO and its extraterrestrial passenger crash in his backyard. Jules. Actually, I do remember that trailer now. And I do like Ben Kingsley. Nobody's heard about it. Nobody's talking about it. Is that, now, question to you, Scorsese, is that a movie that people need to go into the theater to see? There's got to be a nice, there's got to, not a nice, there's got to be a mix out there where, yes, movies like Forrest Gump should be seen on the big screen. But the smaller art house films, do they need to be really seen on the big screen? Are they worth fighting for? Like Green Knight, something like the Green Knight, like we talked about that yesterday in our Black Hole, because it was so cinematic the way that it was shot. Yes, that was worthwhile seeing on the big screen. I don't know. I know that some people will misconstrue what he's saying in here as saying it's an attack on superhero movies and stuff like that. Those two have been getting bored. Scorsese, and back in 2019, they even, yeah, there it is right there, his quote about the MCU. There is an argument there. But then, Scorsese, why did you turn around and make Killers of the Flower Moon under a Netflix deal for it to be out on Netflix? If you're trying to save cinema, right? I get what he's trying to say. It's just us as a society haven't quite accepted what it all means, right? Um, or how it's going to be dealt with in the future. Because here's the thing. Expendables 4 and It Lives Inside was released last week. I I like for me to go see them. It's a money issue. It truly is, and it's kind of like if you got two choices, and neither of them are very well praised on the tomato meters, and what people are, the buzz is not good for either of them. Why should I go see it? And we're gonna have that case this week too. Saw 10 opens up, and the Creator, which we hear good things about the Creator, but it's kind of like Saw 10 is going to be the big draw. I will go see both of them this week. I will go see both of those. But it's kind of like families can't go see two movies in a weekend. They can't. It's almost like families will go see a movie once a month kind of deal. Us hardcore movie fans will go see a movie once a week, if not two a week. Yeah, there has to be variety in the theater for people, right? Oppenheimer, Barbie, Jawan, Nun 2. There's variety there. But sometimes genre redundancy perhaps undermined itself. And when you got competing blockbusters week after week, you just get berated with it, and it's kind of like it does lose its hype. So there is something there that Scorsese's kind of getting at. Rollerball Champion says, I've had to head in to work now, but I'll catch the rest later. Okay, thanks, man. You make some great points. The dynamic is changing for sure. Yeah. So, guys, what do you think about the Scorsese comments? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains.